What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here after a 24-22 victory by your Green Bay Packers over a very good Houston Texans team. No doubt that was a nail biter. And first off, right up front, let's talk about the Jeff Hafley defense. They read your tweets, they read your comments in our YouTube chats, they understood the assignment. We're living off too many turnovers, it was told. It was multiple turnovers every single game. Way too much. Got to get stops. Got to force punts. Well, they did that and more today. Absolute domination. Let's just say it from the Green Bay Packers defense. Yes, the 22 points for the Texans, traditionally, that's probably not what you want to live for on defense. But a number of those occasions were direct results of mistakes on offense or special teams. Way too much putting the defense in bad situations from a not trying to play complimentary football Green Bay Packers team, but man, Jeff Hafley and the defense answered the bell again and again and again. And also a special shout out to Daniel Whalen. You talk about not just the final punt, which obviously was a monster, but throughout the day, I think he averaged close to 60 yards per punt, just completely flipping the field again and again and again, which allowed the defense to operate at such a high level. Just great work. Now, on the flip side, a lot of frustration, certainly on the offensive side of the ball, but also special teams wise, some really bad decisions by your punt returners today, both Keyshawn Nixon and Jaden Reed having some really rough moments at returner. But yeah, Jordan Love throwing interceptions. The first interception, the defensive back makes a play there. I don't really kill him too much for that one, but the second one, that's brutal. That's a throw he cannot make. He has to understand what he's seeing and in the moment, what he's living with. Live to fight another day. Just take that sack. He's getting pressured, or try to throw it away. Maybe you get the grounding call, but you absolutely cannot throw that ball up there the way he did. And look, he talked about it post game, right? Certainly not something you want to see. They get paid too. They did a good job of keeping the Packers off balance. We heard Matt LaFleur talk about they drew up that specific play. They thought they were going to get cover three. They get man across the board. And the thing is if Jordan is able to step into that throw, he's got a shot to hit Watson there. But because he's getting pressured, it sails on him, and that's the interception. So all told, it's a W for the green and gold. That's what's most important against, again, a good Texans team. There is no doubt that team is going to be in the mix playoff-wise. We'll see how the rest of the year transpires. My overall thought coming off of that game, other than, wow, hey, look, we've got a kicker who can make kicks. Amazing. Other than that, this is the type of game that at this point last season, the Packers would have lost. This point this season, they found a way to win. And I don't think it's just one thing, but I do think, yeah, obviously the defense stepping up certainly helped. But look at Jordan Love in that 2-minute situation there to drive and get into field goal range. I'm not entirely sure that happens last year, especially at this point, mid-October. This is a team that has matured a bit, certainly needs a lot of work in that regard in other areas, but that's a satisfying win and the one that you can feast on all week long as the team gets ready to go down and face the Jacksonville Jaguars, that juggernaut that beat the Pats today. I kid, but the big win, love to see it. Love to see everybody mixing it up in the comment section. How we doing, folks? We've got a bunch of super chats already. Ed, starting us off. What's up, man? Thanks so much. Never any doubt, to win after 3 turnovers is impressive. Stuff to clean up, but it's total domination in the win-loss column. How about Danny Whalen? Yes, as I just talked about. No question about it. I do like you starting out with never any doubt because, Ed, I got to tell you, there was some doubt. There was some doubt, but made the plays that needed to be made. Patrick, thank you for the super chat, man. You got to hand it to Stephon Diggs. He backed up all that pregame trash talk with, checks notes, 23 receiving yards. Go, Pack, go. Yeah, I was surprised at how well they did keeping him under wraps. I mean, look, he's tormented the Packers for a long time, regardless of what uniform he's been in. So I get it from his end, right? But they did do a good job. And it's not so much like, I get it. Yes, Stephon Diggs wasn't incredibly productive. But ultimately it's because they had CJ Stroud in hell in obvious passing situations, which again is where in the past Diggs has done a lot of his damage. when everyone in the park knows you got to put the ball in the air, he has come to play and owned the Packers. But man, CJ Stroud just had no idea what was happening on most of the third downs, especially in the second half when Hafley was dialing up pressure and the Packers executed at such a high level. And I will say, there's a throw there at the end that puts them in field goal range or down in the inside the 20. I think it was inside the 10, where Hafley brings a big pressure and Stroud escapes out to the right and makes that dart throw. And it's like, okay, fine. But Rashawn Gary is 1,000,000,000% held on that play. And I'm not going to complain about it because we got the W. But that's another instance where Stroud didn't have it figured out. They just got away with a hold. Like, they were absolutely lost against Hafley's pressures today. That was exciting. And that's what I've been talking about all these years that we've been living under Joe and Barry about dictating on defense. Hafley absolutely dictated on defense. They were playing that game on his terms all day long. You'll love to see it. Jacob, thanks for the super chat, man. Ever since Jordan put on number 4, he's been gunslinging. Jacob, I don't know where you were last year, but this is who he's been for a long time. It's been who he's been since that first start in Kansas City. I know he went on an amazing run the back half of last season, but this is who he is. He will put the ball in jeopardy. He will also make some amazing throws. Now, he's got to learn from it. He's got to get better in that regard, but it's in his DNA. And I get we come off of Aaron Rodgers, and that is a very different prism that you're looking at it through as far as playing that position. But it's not a new thing at all. Stoney, thanks for the super chat. Shout out to Eric Wilson. He had a heck of a game. Yeah, I think I said it live on the watch party at one point, and I think a bunch of people said it in the chat as well. Have a day, man. Absolutely flying around. Obviously got thrown into the mix a lot more, though I think he was in the game plan, it seemed, because he was out there with a number of snaps prior to Quay Walker getting hurt. But once Walker went down, you certainly saw him utilized a lot of the same ways they utilized Walker as far as pressuring the quarterback and things like that. But yes, even just finding guys in space and getting them on the ground or sniffing out screens or anything and everything that you could ever be asked to do on the defensive side of the ball at the linebacker spot, he seemed to be up to the task. Great day at the office for Eric Wilson, no question. Godsmack, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to the defense for winning us the game. How about Eric Wilson, MVP today, all the way? I don't know about MVP. I mean, he had a good game, no question about it, but I'd probably give MVP to Daniel Whalen, but that's just me. Trey Porter, thank you for the super chat. Go Pack, go Nags. Got my tickets to the game next week in Jacksonville. Shout out to Rashawn Gary for the big game. Yeah, I thought Rashawn played a really nice game. Again, not one of those that's ever going to be looked at and talked about on SportsCenter and rehashed on Twitter or whatever. But yeah, down in and down out, he brought it today. And again, there at the end, game on the line, he got held. It didn't get called, but he was certainly creating down in and down out. Joe, thanks for the super chat, man. Whalen was a stud, both punting and holding for the field goal. That last kick in particular, man, no doubt. Snap was high, and he got it down. Love to see it. Andrew Ware, how are you, man? Did we get away with one on that barely forward pass? Possibly, Andrew. I think that's one of those eye of the beholder things. I mean, you could make the argument, and I've seen this happen, where look no further than week 1, right? It certainly looked like the pass from Hurts went backwards, but they called it a forward pass after review. So hopefully that would have been the case if that would have been challenged or looked at, whatever. But that's why they go fast, right? Jordan was asked about it afterwards. You go fast when there's any kind of doubt like that. Get up to the line of scrimmage. Mac made a play call, and they got after it. Very next play, hit Wicks on the touchdown. I will say I love that their hurry up and call something play was 4 verts. Like you saw the replay. It's little dudes, 4 guys just get vertical as fast as you can. You have the check down underneath, and Jordan does a phenomenal job of placing that ball for Wicks for the touchdown. Faden West, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. I brought it up on Watch Party, but what's the level of concern that Love leads the league in picks despite missing 2 games? Just part of his game? I mean, is your concern going to help fix it? If not, then don't worry about it. Because this is who he is. Hopefully he learns from it and continues to grow and develop and becomes a bit more disconcerting, or not disconcerting, discerning. But at the same time, the guy who throws those picks is also the guy throwing that touchdown to Wicks or throwing that motherfucking seed to Tucker Kraft. That's a throw most guys aren't even going to attempt. And why do you come out and watch the game on Sunday afternoons? Not you in particular, but I mean you as a fan, right? We come out because those plays are freaking awesome. There's a little push and pull here, you know? Yes, no question about it. He's got to clean that stuff up. And we did see a stretch last year, as we just talked about, where his touchdown interception ratio was pretty amazing. Hopefully he can find that groove again. He's certainly not there right now. But being concerned about it, is that going to fix it? Is that going to help? No? Awesome. Just enjoy the dope stuff and let the team and Jordan Love worry about the interceptions and the problematic stuff. I guarantee your life will be a lot more enjoyable in regards to the game of football. Nathaniel, thanks for the super chat, man. It's like the defense signed a pregame contract with the devil, saying they couldn't have any takeaways, but the pass rush would come to life. Yeah, well, you'll notice, though, Nathaniel, the pass rush, such as it was, came to life because of the pressure calls. It wasn't like they were getting home with 4. They were decidedly not getting home with 4. In fact, Stroud probably had his best stretch of plays when they were just trying to rush 4, and he stepped up a couple times and made things happen, both with his legs and once, I think, with his arm. But yeah, they certainly dialed up the pressure, and it absolutely flummoxed Stroud all day. Steve as well. Thanks for the super chat. Thought Dobbs had an incredible game, just so clutch on different catches. Well, you say different catches, but man, he just ate on that slant play, usually on the back end, on the backside of the play, where Love would just find him for a slant, and it was there every single time. Like that, I don't think there was a moment that it was ever A, incomplete, or even B, in doubt. That he was outstanding. And then that final catch that he goes up for to put them in field goal range, that's outstanding work. And no doubt, ball comes out at the end, but he's controlling it, butt hits the ground. That's a catch. Absolutely phenomenal work from Dobbs today. No doubt about it. He's a gritty-ass player, man. Good stuff. David, thank you for the super chat. Winning is hard. We're 5-2. Let's go. Shirley Cooper has to get more game time over McDuffie. Too talented to leave off. Also, it's Whelan, not Whalen. Oh, to be sure. I'm sorry, is that bad? Anyway, Whelan. Cooper will get time. You saw McDuffie and Cooper out there. Once, Quay Walker goes down, you're juggling a lot of things as a defensive staff as far as packages and who can do what and who knows what to do with certain calls. I'm sure, yes, you'll see more Cooper as the game goes on, but you did see Cooper out there. And by the way, you saw Cooper get taken advantage of a couple times. Now, I want him out there making some mistakes so he learns from them and grows and becomes a really good player. But I don't think McDuffie, I had a couple people in the chat talking about McDuffie not, being this or that. And I'm like, he's a glue guy. He's not somebody that you are ever going to, write home about. But when you suffer an injury at inside linebacker, he can get you through a game, which is what he did on a day where the defense was really fucking good, by the way. Dan, how you doing, man? A kicker who makes kicks to the left of the hash. Amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. Carlson hit a 55-yard field goal for the 49ers, by the way. Amazing. Just amazing. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. Nags, I'm no QB whisperer. Well, I'm glad we got that on the record. But Love's footwork is garbage. I was hoping he'd improve that in the last offseason, but I haven't seen it get better. Makes me nervous if it ever will. Hafley is the man. Tyler, if it doesn't and he's still throwing touchdowns, who cares, man? I mean, I get it. I understand we're all here, like, trying to enjoy the game and trying to learn about the game. So then we see it, and then we're like, well, the footwork's bad. And you're right. He's got some really rough footwork at times. No question about it. But he's clearly got an insanely talented arm, and he knows how to utilize it. Now, has it gotten him in trouble at times? Yeah, no question. Today is no different, right? Hopefully, the decision-making gets better. But as far as the footwork, man, you saw Aaron Rodgers fall apart footwork-wise later in his career. And he's still slinging it fine, throwing touchdowns, what have you. It's always going to be a balancing act, right? Like, you definitely want better footwork. You definitely want him, correct footwork, pointed right, thrown from the hip, thrown from the legs, the ground up, as Aaron used to say. so he can get more power on it and all those things. But, at some point he is who he is. And I'm not saying we've arrived there yet. We're far from it. But, um, he's got a long way to go as a quarterback, as a guy learning the technique of the game. Hopefully he cleans it up a little bit, but I don't think it's ever going to be, what do you call it? Pristine. I don't think it's going to be teach tape ever. And you know what? Neither Favre nor Rodgers in their time were absolutely 100% great in that regard either. Jesse, what's going on, man? Bray Quay is okay, but the Coop Wilson duo was fire. Yeah, man. I tell you what, the Wilson really came on and played very, very well. No, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but the way they were able to still utilize him as a blitzer more than anything else really helped, because all those pressure packages, you got to know, because it's not just, I know sometimes it can feel or seem like just run at the quarterback, right? Or beat your guy. But there's so many intricacies too. And there was one in particular where he comes in on basically like a looping stunt and takes on a guard and specifically draws the running back away from what was the eventual pressure on the quarterback that made the play. That there's a game plan, so to speak, with every rush, with every blitz, and Wilson was outstanding today in that regard. Here we go. Godsmack, what's up? Yes, I understand that it's early, but Jeff Hafley is looking like the real deal. The results are undeniable. Yeah, you've got to really like what you've seen. He's put teams on lockdown in the second half of every single game this year. And the fact that they held up as well as they did, given how many bad spots they were put in by the offense and the special teams today, that looks like a legit coordinator. That's somebody who's playing modern ball, which, hey, I'm all for it. No doubt about it. Jocelyn, how are you? Wearing diapers for 94, Favre. Oh, God. This is the part of the program where I feel really old. But pretty sure 24 Love is making me live through that again. Even shitting myself. No more rocket balls, please. Yeah, I believe Corey and I made reference to that exact quote. Somebody said we got to get like all the cut-ups of Holmgren talking to Favre on the sideline throughout the years from NFL films and just keep like audio playing them for Jordan Love. No doubt about it. Uncultured, how are you, man? I went full Fred G. Sanford during that walk-off win. I'm having the big one. I'm coming up to see you, honey. Random Packer Dave Rayner. Ooh, Dave Rayner. What a pull. Godsmack, how are you, man? I also feel bad for Romeo. Apparently brushing someone on the shoulder is a legal block in the back now. I don't know. You tell me. No, Godsmack. I told Corey live when we watched it. I thought that was a fine call. Like, this is the problem when you're running something that's designed to the left and you run all the way to the other side of the field. It's almost inevitable that you're going to get one of those. It's unfortunate. But, yeah, I didn't think that was a terrible call. Man, I've lived through some terrible calls in my time, and I didn't think that was one of them. Justin, what's up, man? I love Wicks, Reed, and Watson, but Dobbs is number one. Well, he was really good today, no doubt about it. And Reed was barely a blip as far as production goes, but Reed's still their most productive, probably / best receiver. I think Watson's got all the talent in the world, but they're just not utilizing him. I will say there was a play where I think it was on a sack where Jordan was about to have Watson breaking wide open deep, and they were clearly trying to hit that, and the protection just broke down, But, yeah, overall, give me Reed as the number one. But Dobbs was outstanding today. Charlie, thanks for the super chat, man. Who is the green sticker with 7 out? Vikings, LOL. That's a good question. I suspect it would have been Wilson, just because he's the vet and probably knows all the calls and all of that, but I'm not entirely sure. Patrick, thank you for the super chat, man. I think some of us in this fan base, myself included, have been too hard on Quay. It feels like the Packers missed him a bit when he went out today. Thank you for saying so. I didn't want to say it in the game. I think I did kind of allude to it at some point, but man, he's a big-time component of what they do on defense. And I'm with you, especially in the run game. There were certainly moments today where his absence was felt. Now, that doesn't mean like, oh, God, they can't live without him or anything like that. Really hope he's back, obviously. But, yes, I think he is somewhat underappreciated in that regard. I very much agree. Joe, what's up, man? JT O'Sullivan's breakdown of love should be fun. Ooh, you're going to need a smoke for that one. Maybe two. Elliot, thank you for the super chat, man. Coolest name on the Packers underperforming linebacker, Lamont Hollandquest, Brady Papinga, or Frank Zombo? How are those underperforming? Frank Zombo won a Super Bowl, sir. I cape up for guys. I can't help it. Coolest name, though? It's got to be Lamont Hollandquest. No shade to Frank or Brady, but come on. Lamont Hollandquest? You can't come up with a better name. You just can't. Erman 442, Halfley versus Matt/Rich B. Man, I tell you what, Halfley got a game ball today because he saved Matt's ass. I don't know if you saw it live, but go back and watch when the second final kick goes through. They have a shot of Matt taking off his headset. The game's finally over. You could see literally the relief wash over him because he knows. And he said it in his post-game presser. D'Amico and that defensive staff in Houston absolutely kicked their ass today. He knows that. He's not under any illusions. So, yes, score one for Halfley's side today, no doubt. Dag, what's up, man? What are those super chats? Did we not just fucking win a game? Go, Pack, go! Hey, man, people can talk about whatever they want. Obviously, some people focus on the negative or the problems, and some people are very excited for the win. You certainly are part of the second part, and I appreciate it, but I got no problems with people pointing stuff out, talking about whatever they want to talk about. It's part of the beautiful game that is the NFL football. Giddy up. Thanks for the super chat, man. Tom Clements would be an interesting interview before he leaves Green Bay. Is he open to that sort of thing? Interesting interview. How? Do you mean here on Cheese at TV? That would never happen. Packers would never make him available. They so rarely ever allow these guys to do anything outside of the one availability that they have at the podium like every other week. I'd love to make the ask and see what they would say, but I would doubt they would ever allow that. Brian, thanks for the super chat. What's the team's biggest weakness after 7 weeks? Itself. Beating itself in any number of ways. The inability to just play sound ball. That, to me, is a glaring problem. Like, just their own mistakes, putting them in bad situations, putting them behind the 8 ball. Just clean that shit up, and you're winning this game going away. And most of these games, you know? So, yeah, to me, that's pretty clear. Andrew, thanks again, man. Halfley's willingness to adjust in-game. Love it. You love to see it. I mean, adjustments? What are those? Fading, thanks again, man. Do you think they make a change at punt return? Doubtful. I mean, those are the two guys that they've repped almost all offseason and obviously in season. I'm trying to remember. I mean, back in the summer, the only other guys they really sent back there were, at one point, A.J. Dillon. And I'm trying to remember who else. Maybe Emmanuel Wilson. But, yeah, it's like those are the two. Romeo Dobbs, I think, has a few reps in that regard, practice-wise. But, yeah, I don't know. They just got to be better, man. Hopefully, Bisaccia can just tell them, look, these are the ones you should field, and these are the ones you should let go into the end zone. Because both guys, like Reed fielding that ball at all inside the 5 was ridiculous. But the earlier one from Nixon was absolutely atrocious. Just a terrible decision to let it bounce. You are there. He's literally right. Step up, field the ball. That is your job. Just atrocious decision-making back there today. Doug Hype, what's up, man? Football is cool, but how do we get Aaron more carry the G cream ale? This is an excellent question for Corey Banke, especially since I am down to my last carry the G. It's an emergency, ladies and gentlemen. Please let Corey Banke know I need more carry the G. 100%. John, thanks for the super chat, man. 11 tackle for loss, 4 sacks, and 7 QB hits. Good to see. Defense 8 today, man. No joke. Absolutely. And what's crazy is you got to think, I mean, I obviously could give 2 shits about the Texans, but what they, being the Packers, put on tape today against that offense, an offense which, by the way, is coming off a game where they scored like a ton of points, really productive. They are going to be seeing a lot more of that now, Stroud in particular, because Halfley just smelled blood in the water and just got after it all day long, and they could not handle it. Stroud had no answers. The Packers may have opened a Pandora's box on the Texans offense here for other coordinators to walk through. Porkmaster, what's up, man? Thanos meme. Did we get a kicker? What did it cost? The punt return game. Felt like early last year, try and find ways to lose, but the kids did it. That's what I said at the start. This is 100% the type of game they would have lost at the start of last year. Mid-October, last season, 2023, zero doubt in my mind they would have lost this game. But the fact that they kept it together, made the plays necessary down the stretch, and especially that final 2-minute drive by Jordan in the offense, that's progress. Absolute progress. Now, they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot, but it is a move in the right direction. Richard, thanks for the super chat. Williams and X are studs. Couldn't agree more. I love both those players. And they don't even need to be getting turnovers to do, great things. That's what's so fun to see. I mean, I thought from the jump, Williams was all over the place today. I can't wait to go back and watch it. Lance, thanks for the super chat, man. Today is my dad's birthday. I hope he's watching. He loves your show, as do I. Go, Pack, go. Cardiac Pack is back. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you. Lance, that's an amazing super chat. I cannot thank you enough for sharing it with us. Hope your dad is watching. Shout out to Lance's dad. Happy birthday, brother. Hope you're enjoying an early Victory Monday. I mean, I'm calling it right now. It's 5:14 Eastern on Sunday, but I declare right now, not only a celebration of your birthday, but it is Victory Monday as well. Let's get after it. Absolutely love to see it. Capitol Hill Ukulele Jamboree. I appreciate the super sticker. Braden, thank you. Bite, bite, bite. Love X sack on Stroud. Oh, dude, talk about dialing it up. And you talk about Stroud having absolutely no freaking clue it was coming. I mean, they got McKinney down there later in the fourth quarter, and they sent him again, and that time the Texans were ready for it. But that first time, oh, baby, you talk about a just complete lack of awareness on Stroud's end. He had no clue that was coming. Zero. And you love to see it. The only thing that would have been better is that turned into a strip sack fumble, but I will take it. It was absolutely awesome. Thomas, thanks for the super chat. Love you, Nags. Love Cheesehead TV. Does it ever get tough, though, hearing fireworks and the live excitement is lost a little? Either way, I love what you guys do. Go, Pack, go. Thomas, when we very, 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 very first started doing remotes as a watch party, because when Corey and I first started doing this, we were both living in New York. Corey and I were in a studio together. So that was kind of the gig, right? And then when Corey moved to Green Bay and we started doing them remotely, and he did have the fireworks over his shoulder, yeah, that was an adjustment. And it did kind of, take a bit to get used to it. And I didn't like it at first, but now I freaking love it, because it's like we're all hanging out with a guy who lives across the street from Lambeau Field, which is fucking baller. That's one of my best friends in the world who lives across the street from Lambeau fucking Field. So, yeah, I get it. It's not for everybody. Some people are turned off by it and they don't want to have it, quote, spoiled. But here's the other thing. Usually we're pretty much on a delay on YouTube. So if you're watching Fox or whatever, CBS today, you're probably going to see most of these plays before we do. So you're going to come to us for a reaction, and us seeing the fireworks, that's just us celebrating. And I love the idea that, once they get in the red zone, I'm just looking over Corey's shoulder, just waiting for fireworks. I don't know. Like I said, it was weird at first, but now I'm so used to it, and I absolutely love it. Alex, thanks for the super chat, man. Do we have a kicker? LOL. It's so early. Still Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. Nicholas Bowling Show. Thank you, Butter. Texas throwing on that third down. Terrible call. You know what's weird is they seem to get caught between, okay, we just want to run it and kick a field goal, but we also have a quarterback that we're supposedly, bringing up as a superstar. We really trust him. So, yeah, because then, the play is run to the sideline, and the fact that it stops the clock and the Packers don't have to burn that timeout, that's kind of crazy to me. I mean, that's a crazy call. So, I don't know. I'm with you, man, but it felt, like I said, it felt like they were between, okay, let's let CJ go try to maybe win this game, but also let's be careful and, run the ball, get, the clock down and let them use their timeouts, etc. I don't know. It was a weird sequence. Giddy up. Thanks, brother. Reed knows better than to catch that one. Maybe this was a business decision, LOL. They need to get someone else back there. Can't lose him. Yeah, the other one is Nixon, who also screwed up. So, I don't know. Doug Hype, thanks again, brother. As a former punt returner, certain players just get it, and others do not. You can't just make a good returner. Prime example, Amari Rogers. Truer words have never been spoken, Doug Hype. Could not agree more. All right, buddy, I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, whether it's during the week, after a game. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.